the effect that there were allegations made by the Honorable Senator, does apology for which the backdrop, because you opened that window, which I think we should not have opened after the court decision, but because it was opened and that apology was given to her to make, that apology in his assessment, does it mean withdrawal of all the allegations against those members of the staff, to the extent that we need to be judicious, not only just the senator, but also to the staff members who are involved? So would that mean, by extension, that there will be a requirement, whether a pseudo requirement or an active requirement on the side of the senator, to actually withdraw all those allegations that were found to be baseless? Because then, that way, I think then will be a house that is fair to both parties that are involved in this issue without by any bipartisan nature. And I think that it might not be a question of just voting. Majority Leader, if I may beg, I think that this is just not a question that we might just discuss on the floor of the House, but also might need a wisdom on a small kamkunjim, perhaps, where we can be able to discuss and see how we also maintain and protect the sanctity of the House, because we are setting a precedence for future generations. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Muma.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to contribute to this motion by Majority Leader. Now, I will not be long on this issue. Honorable Speaker, this matter was decided in court, and I wish to bring it to the attention of the Senate, just in case the Senate is not aware. I think another case on this matter is still pending before the courts. My suggestion is that before we make a decision, because this involves a matter that might fall within character assassination of an individual, I don't know whether, as the Senate, we have the capacity to forgive on that matter on behalf of somebody who's not even before the Senate to be able to express themselves. My suggestion is that we get the JLAC committee to give us a view on what this means, and I pick the JLAC instead of the director or the Directorate of Legal, because it is a matter between a senator and member of staff. And I'm suggesting that a committee of the Senate be the one to look at these issues and to advise on whether we have the capacity or capability of giving the resolve or the reprieve that we want to give as we are proposing. Honorable Speaker, I also suggest that we actually need a policy in Parliament on matters relating to sexual harassment that touches on members of Parliament, so that we are able. I have read the policy on sexual harassment following what has happened in this House. I have read the policy on sexual harassment for Bunge, and that policy only covers members of staff. I think we need to move the Parliamentary Service Commission to actually put in place a policy and procedures on how to handle matters similar to this matter, because part of the challenge by the affected senator was that they did not have confidence in whatever process that we had. But having gone to court, they elected, or they were not able to persuade the court in the manner of this procedure. So my view is that it will be unfair for us to step in the shoe of the affected person and purport to make a decision on their behalf on this matter, having decided. And I think we can revisit it. And I personally have no problem in forgiving anybody, but I think we need the JLAC to give us a view on what they think, how they think we should handle this matter. Thank you.
Mover to reply, Majority Leader.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank colleagues who have taken time to speak to this particular matter. Mr. Speaker, indeed, it's an interesting matter because it's not one that I'd have very strong feelings about on how a member decides on this particular issue. Because at the end of the day, I believe an apology that has been rendered and the punishment that this House rendered on the offenses that were committed by Senator Gloria Orwoba'S are personal. Therefore, if a member feels that indeed that particular member has owned up to their mistakes and has requested the House that they be given a lighter punishment, not that they are not punished completely, but be granted a lighter punishment. It is on that basis, Mr. Speaker, that I moved the House to reduce the sentence and the Senate to vary its resolution. There are a few things that have come up which I'll attempt to respond, Mr. Speaker. First is what Senator Sifuna raised with reference to the motion coming back to the House within a period less than 6 months. Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion was moved actually on the, to be specific, on the 23rd of September, 20th of September 2023. Therefore, it's far more beyond the 6 months period upon which you can bring a motion separate to the one that had earlier been resolved. Secondly, Senator Sifuna also inquired on the provisions cited, Section 17, 3D and G. The reference to them was to the punishment, not that the House has powers to do. Actually, the punishment that was meted to Senator Gloria by this House is in reference to those specific, that she be asked to leave the House for a certain period and also being asked to apologize. That is why, Mr. Speaker, in the final part of the motion, I have stated that there is a term there that when Senator Gloria Orwoba'S returns, should members agree with this motion, she will be admitted to this House on terms resolved by the Senate on 20th September 2023. So you have to ask yourself, what were the terms? If you have observed previously when a member has been kicked out of this House, it's also a very difficult experience. It's not something as easy as just walking back to the House. When she comes back, it is almost similar to the first day we came to this House, where you have the rostrum placed at the door there, and they formally apologize to all the people that they have wronged before the House finally agrees that they be admitted back. So, Mr. Speaker, it's not like we are making